We're live outside our Fox Connecticut studios, and I'm joined with Bob Green, the presenter of Survive the Drive. Bob, there's a lot of props here making a real impact in teens, but we're going to first talk about what Survive the Drive is.
Okay, well, Survive the Drive is a program where we go out to high schools and we talk to assemblies full of kids about car crashes and how they're preventable and how easy it is to wreck a car.
And one of the main props that you bring to schools across the area is a vehicle like this, basically completely wrecked. Now, we're going to talk about, we don't really know how this accident happened, but we can tell from the damage what happened to the people inside. So let's go walk through it and just talk about the impact of serious tragic car accidents that can occur when drivers are distracted.
Yep. Well, first of all, we never call them accidents because they're crashes. The car has no intelligence, so it doesn't know what to do. And so somebody made a mistake to cause this crash, whether it was the driver or somebody pulled out in front of them. They tried to miss somebody, but those circumstances are all different. But there's really only four ways to crash a car. You run into what's in the way, you go off the road, you flip it over, or cause somebody else to hit you. And this car, we can tell a bunch of things from this. It's a frontal impact, and generally, if somebody hits something that's in the way, they fail to miss it. And so that's when the police will always say, too fast for conditions, okay? And that person, failure to stop before you hit the person in front of you. We
There's
also
some
know
serious gashes in the windshield.
Sure.
And you can tell a lot from those, right?
Oh yeah, I can tell what happened.
Why don't we walk over there?
Sure. In fact, I think about, we're all made out of meat, bones, blood, and brains. And the person inside this car, it looks like, and again, this would have to go through some forensic investigation, it looks like they didn't have their seatbelt on because the airbag has gone off, but this looks like they hit their head there. And see, I always, for the high school kids, I demonstrate what it's like to be in a car crash. I actually have a crash test dummy here. And so I want to show this a little bit because nobody's head's made out of styrofoam.
Right.
And this person is, was definitely hurt by this crash.
Let's talk about a second how these students react to, this makes such an impact on them.
Well, the impact is a bad word because that means somebody crashed.
But it's very thought-provoking.
It's very thought-provoking because what we have to consider is that you and I are made out of that meat, bones, blood, and brains. When we're in a car, it seems like the world's going by when you're driving in a car because it's still inside the car, but the world's staying where it was. You're the moving object. And when you hit something, unless you're restrained with seat belts or the airbag or whatever's going to hold you where you belong, you're going to get thrashed inside the car. And see, my head weighs 10 or 12 pounds. Yours does too. Okay? If you hit your head, if you were to fall off a 3-story building, you would hit pretty hard. You'd hit at 28 miles an hour. So that's a fatal impact, especially on your head. And so what I brought here was I brought a pumpkin, okay? Seeing as it's Halloween, I want to demonstrate what it's like to have your head hit, okay? And see, I think about this pumpkin like my head, okay? If your head hits something hard enough, it'll be like that. Is that a good enough demonstration?
It certainly is.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And what I have here also, see, I have a crash test dummy here. And what I'm going to do is I have a little toy mouse. Now, this mouse would be made out of meat, bones, blood, and brains.
Right.
Every time you see a dead animal by the side of the road, that shows you what damage a car can do. And if you're in the car, like this mouse in the tin can, and you hit something pretty hard, let's try this. You ready for this? Okay. Now, we know what happened to the mouse in the can.
We certainly do.
Okay? And if we put cotton in the tin can, that's what your seatbelt and airbag is. All they do is hold you back. And I also think about this. A lot of folks think the airbag is a soft pillow. It's not a soft pillow. Your airbag won't go off unless your car is getting shorter. And your car starts to crush. And when your car starts to crush, wham, it goes off. And it stops before it gets to you.
Now, Bob, the main message here is that when people are in the car, specifically, you're going to get this message out to teens. When teens are in the driver's seat, they need to be concentrating on just that, not texting, not talking on the phone, not talking to their passengers.
Totally. Because driving all the time, if you backed over a tricycle in the parking lot, in your driveway, you'd be going 1/2 mile an hour, and you would kill your own kid. So speed, no matter what speed you're going, the faster you go, the harder you hit. But still, the car is dangerous if you make a mistake. And one of those mistakes would be talking on the phone.
Absolutely.
As soon as the phone rings, people go, "Oh, I wonder what that is," and they're not.
Don't worry
driving.
about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
And I know that.
All right, now, Bob, sorry, I have to cut you off,
Well, this
but
is
you're
good.
taking your program all over the Northeast
Sure.
and letting teens know that really focus on the driving when you're in the driver's seat.
Trying to teach them what their driver ed teacher might not have.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Reinforcing.
We'll be right back.